Hello, welcome and welcome back to my channel. This is Lily Loves Learning, and today we are going to be doing an update on our first half of the school year. So let's go ahead and get started. For math, we are still continuing on with Singapore Math Primary Mathematics 2022 series, and so for the beginning of the school year, we had just a few things to finish for 4B. And then we have also now finished the first half of 5. So we have completed 5A and are moving on to 5B starting next week. So still really liking this program. It's really efficient. If I need more problems, I do have a Mastery and Beyond, and there are some assessments that can go along with this if you need something for test evidence. We also like to play math games and sometimes do quick sprints with math. So for math facts, maybe multiplication, addition, we will introduce those, and for that, we use Eureka Math. And then some of the games that we like, we have Add Sumudi, which is add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And we have a logic roots game called Big Catch that's for division. And what's really nice about this one is there are different games inside here. So depending on the level that you're looking to do, you can set the game for division facts. Even some of them, I think, have like remainders as well. And then we also recently got Prime Climb, so that one is a new introduction. So to cover some of the areas that we finished already, we did do a Moving Beyond the Page for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I don't know where the actual book is, but we did use the Moving Beyond the Page curriculum. My daughter has been reading some of the Who Was books. So some of the recent ones were Who Was Anne Frank and Where is Machu Picchu. One of the books that we finished together was Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus. This book is really good. And then we also got the second in that series. So this is the one that we're currently doing as a read aloud. So it's the Momentous Events in the Life of a Cactus. This is up to now, she's now in high school. We also, for a read aloud that was finished, was Silver Arrow. And my daughter really liked that book. Some of the, not doing it full time, but as we have some availability, I have my daughter continue working on her cursive. And for this one, we use the Core Knowledge Language Arts. So there is a cursive unit. So this is free and available. So if you are looking for an inexpensive or free cursive units, you can use Core Knowledge for that. Another Moving Beyond the Page unit that we completed was the Energy unit. And for this one, we had purchased the kit for the first semester. So we're breaking up the first semester science across the entire year. So we have now completed the energy unit and have 2 more for the remainder of the school year. Another book that we did was Hearth and Stories, The First State of Being. So this was their novel guide. We really liked the Hearth and Story series. The book was great. So, this was a fun unit. We just finished this one. So she will be starting, I think it's Out of My Mind, which is another Hearth and Story unit. And this is level 4. We started the school year doing All About Reading level 4 and All About Spelling level 4. However, we were looking to get some additional spelling lists through, and then we'll go back to that curriculum to learn more about the reasonings behind the way that words are spelled. So we switched over to Hearth and Story spelling and then I'll just show you an example. So there are some spelling lists in there. And then, for instance, there are the lists. You check the spelling. If the word is spelled correctly, then you don't move on for that. If you misspelled it or you were not confident in that word, then you would have that for your spelling list for that week. And I think we are through about 10 weeks so far on that. The next curriculum that we use, and I really like it anyway, is Essentials in Writing. So I'm going to move past some of my daughter's writing, but in the Essentials in Writing, they have the first half, I think, is grammar. The second half is writing. We are just using writing, and we are at level 3. It is strongly focused on paragraphs. So that was what we were looking for this school year, as in last year we developed a lot with sentences and combining sentences, and now we're moving on to paragraphs. So it gives you different types of writing that you will need to do, and then it walks you through the full process. So you have the brainstorming, you have your draft, then you will have your revision, and then working on like a final copy. And so it gives you that whole process and makes it at a much more shortened for each lesson. I think each of the videos are around 5 to 10 minutes. And so it cuts up the writing process into multiple steps over multiple days so that your child doesn't have to sit there for an hour or two writing each of those. So I think it helps my daughter. She's not as overwhelmed with the writing process. And then I really like the Evan Moor books. I know some people don't like workbooks as much, but I find that it helps break each of the different key areas that the students need to learn and gets a little bit more in depth into each of those topics. So for this one, we're using the language fundamentals, and then in there, you can just get an overview of what's included in there, but it breaks up whether it's nouns, adjectives. It will also move on to sentences, and then different types of punctuation. So it includes both the grammar and punctuation sides, and this specific one is the language fundamentals. They also, I think, have like a grammar and punctuation that is a skill sharpener, but it doesn't go into as much in depth in each of the areas. So I really like the language fundamentals one. And then the other Evan Moor that we are currently using and have gone through quite a few of the units is the Grade 4 Daily Science. And for these, they focus on a big idea and then have different weeks that are still associated with that higher level. So we've picked out and reordered the big ideas that we've focused on and have been working through those. We've also recently, I don't have it here with me right now, but we also finished the word roots, the beginner level that we just finished last week. So in the next few weeks, we're basically going to be going back and reviewing all of the words across all of the, I think it's 24 weeks, maybe. So there's 24, I think there's 24 lessons, and we are going to go back and review the different root words and see if my daughter can remember those words, and then work through the actual words and make sure she's still understanding the definitions for those. So it's basically going to be a review of all of the entire book, whereas throughout the book there are different review portions, I think after each 8 lessons. Oh, and one last thing that we did finish for history, geography, we completed the Curiosity Chronicles Early Modern chapters 1 through 12. We took a break on history to try to get through some of the other areas, but we've also been doing, for the geography side, we mapped out and learned the countries of Europe, and then are taking a geography class for US. So that breaks it up into different areas of the US. And so we are learning the states as well as a part of that curriculum. So that's all I had. Just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the specific curriculum. I may get a review of maybe the 2 moving beyond the page ones for my daughter, see if which ones she liked, what she liked about it, didn't like about that, and then I'll let you guys know what her thoughts were. Okay, thanks for joining me, and if you could, please like and subscribe for more videos. I'll have a couple more coming up in the near future, and then we'll also have an end of the school year review in a few months. Okay, all right, thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.